What's up, everybody? It's Make It Make Sense. And if you watched the video yesterday, you know, like we're about to get into some topics that aren't necessarily funny. So we're not going to do the intro. But I did get a request. Somebody DM me and they wanted to know what my books say in the background. So one of them says, I don't care what you think about me. I don't think about you at all. And the other one says, it says, sure, I'm a mess, but I'm the mess that you wanted. So, I be forgetting. I just buy stuff, put it up there. But I really do feel like it's a day of reckoning for anybody and everybody who has ever done some foul to somebody else. I kind of want to start with Gene Deal because
if you don't mind me asking.
So people are starting to turn on Gene. I really don't mind Gene Deal. I understand the argument about Gene Deal. If you don't know who he is, this is Diddy's bodyguard. He's been talking for years about what Diddy has done. Some people feel as though in this situation he's not a saint because he was complicit. For me, I'm like, keep telling us what went on. You were a security guard. I don't really mind you, but I understand people who take umbrage with him. When I saw the title of this video, shout out to the Art of the Dialogue. They have been doing their things. The first thing I did was I went to the comment section, said Gene Deal finally reveals what Diddy allegedly did to Usher to send him to the hospital. So we're going to watch this, and then we're going to contrast it to stuff that he said in the past.
Because I know the topic is sensitive. What happened to Usher?
I heard about some music executive from the industry back in Harlem. You know, I heard it from some music executives back in Harlem. And I'm not going to speak on their name. They doing programs and everything like that, and they may be doing something. They may speak on it themselves. But I heard it from some music executives.
What did you hear?
Bro, you know how people be talking and we was around some people, something like that, and then some people might say, yo, I don't F with that dude. And at the time, I didn't know who the F Usher was. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those type of situations. And when people say, yo, man, I don't F with them niggas, man, I'm getting out that industry and everything like that. You know, Puff sent this little kid to the hospital. How he sent him to the hospital? Man, Nick was bleeding from the butt. And that's what was said. But I didn't even have a name for the kid at the time. Then you heard, and that's what happened. And that's just, that's something that you heard. You don't know if it's true. You just heard it. So just to hear this and this new thing where they saying that they got kids coming forward and said that he did that, man, that shit is crazy.
I think the kid stuff messed everybody up. Now, I have been watching Gene for a while. There's no way I could review everything that Gene has said on the topic. Gene has become one of the foremost people to go to. I'm surprised that Piers Morgan did not have Gene on there. Even back years ago, before it was the thing to do to really get at Puffy and really expose him, there was a clip of Diddy on, wasn't Conan, Jimmy Kimmel. And Jimmy Kimmel actually said, your security guards out here saying you've been doing some stuff. And Diddy kind of like looked at him side-eyed. Gene has been exposing this man, but we'll get to it.
And like I just said, that's just something that I heard. It's something that I didn't know. It's something that I ain't see. A lot of people want to, because Gene Deal has spoken on certain things that I've heard, I have spoken on it. But then they were just trying to say, I know. No, I'm not scared to say what I heard. And if there's any truth to it, then it's truth to it. Let them find it. Things that I've saw or things that I've witnessed and been a part of, I've said it.
If you follow Gene like I follow Gene, he really doesn't give a damn. But what I'm thinking has happened is he's now maybe he's hired an attorney. Maybe there's an attorney who is kind of like directing him on the way that he can phrase things so that he's not liable.
I'm not afraid to say what I saw or what I didn't see. A lot of people want to make up shit. I don't make up things. When I say Puff go in the room with 2 girls, you understand, and another guy and a rapper, and then all of a sudden they cousin try to go in the room, I throw them up against the piano, they run out the room with grabbing towels and they naked. They still had 2 girls in the room. But people want to make up a lot of bullshit and say what they want to say and flip it the way they want to flip it. I tell it like it is.
I can see you guys in the chat are divided. The thing about this Diddy content, and I think I can comfortably say this, there is so many sides to each one of these stories, and there's so many stories to come out. You really don't have to make anything up for it to be sensational. That's why when I see some of these headlines, I'm just like, I already told you guys that there's a lot of computer generated YouTube channels. There's a lot of people that just say a whole lot of shit. You don't have to do that. The stories are so salacious. They're so horrible. You don't have to add any sauce to it.
But you got these guys, you got these people out here, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, all this is for entertainment, man.
Technically,
some people want the truth. Some people speak the truth. Some people don't even know the fucking truth. It'll smack them dead in the fucking face, brother. But I tell you one thing, it's from my mouth to God's ear. And all these clowns can say whatever they want to say. Like I'm just saying, he lived a rock and roll lifestyle when I was with him, bro.
And up until 2024.
I don't know about his sex addiction and stuff like that. You know, he was a totally different person, bro. When I try to tell people that, they don't understand that. He was probably doing some of the little snake shit, doing some things and stuff like that, you know, but the magnitude and what he was doing with the freak off parties and all like that, yo, I didn't experience that with him. That was not my experience with Diddy.
Yeah, I see a lot of people who don't really care for Gene. I get it. There are times, though, where he discusses how, yes, he was doing his job, but he wasn't complicit. When Diddy was allegedly beating on Misa, Gene stopped him. I think he told a story about Diddy getting kind of like rough or aggressive towards his mom. Gene stopped him. Not saying the man is perfect, not saying that he wasn't complicit, but, you know, I don't really mind Gene, but let's get into the comment section. Let's see if we can get to the comments. Somebody said, so a child went to the hospital bleeding from an assault and not a soul in the hospital said anything. Let me see. Standing there and doing nothing is the same as being a part in my books. I think Gene knows more than he's saying. He's trying to distance himself. Let me see. Hold up. It sounds like he's backtracking. Gene is a prime example of how people tell your secrets after the fallout, but was condoning everything while it was going down. He's backtracking. So he heard this and still worked for Puff. This was what I found, him discussing it to World Star Hip Hop.
Taught him and everything. Puff taught him. And he mentioned how great and how good Puff taught him and everything. You know what I'm saying? About the business. Right?
Oh, yeah. Like, do what Pearl Jackson said. Hit that like button. We have almost 2,000 in the chat. Let's try to get to 1,000 likes pretty quickly. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. We are super close to our goal of 200,000 subscribers now.
I know, and people know, that was around that in that time that Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation led Usher to the hospital. Now, I let Usher explain that to y'all. I let Usher tell that story.
So but
how dare you say
it's just slightly different. I feel like whoever the executive was that told him, he believed it wholeheartedly. But in today's video with Art of the Dialogue, it changed a little bit. He said he heard it. We'll listen again.
About the business, right? I know, and people know, that was around that in that time that Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation led Usher to the hospital. Now I let Usher explain that to y'all. I let Usher tell that story. But how dare you say a man that groomed you, you gonna give him a pass? Bro, you know I know. Let me reframe you on something. Remember Usher? We was at the Swiss Hotel. Puff was.
He's just gonna go into a story of somebody giving Puffy some sloppy toppy, and then Usher kissed the girl in the mouth. But the point is, the story changed slightly. I'm gonna give Gene the benefit of the doubt and say that when he said he knew, it's because he trusted the person who told him. So it was like, I know this and people know this. So if Puffy really did violate Usher as a kid and send him to the hospital, then the firsthand account needs to come from the person who told Gene. I doubt it would ever come from Usher, but we'll see. Sarah, thank you so much for joining the membership. Belly B says, I blame the parents. Diddy was a predator. He did what he did was in his nature. The mother was the one who went against nature. Mothers protect their children. I absolutely blame Puffy. And I absolutely blame L.A. Reid for sending Usher to Puffy. I blame Usher for sending Justin Bieber. And these are just the people that we know. This Puffy camp could have an innumerable amount of people. I don't think people really recognize that because, you know, Usher and Justin Bieber became superstars. But imagine if there was just plethora of young people that were sent to Puffy camp to get them socialized into the business. What does socialize into the business mean? We may never know because these records are about to start getting sealed. But I want y'all to really sit with that. We know about Usher and we know about Justin Bieber because there's video and because there was questions asked during interviews, but we technically don't know how many different underage people who were in the business were sent to this man to get socialized. And if there was a minor who seemingly was abused and went to the hospital bleeding, then everybody in that hospital who saw that kid also needs to go down because you are required to report that kind of stuff. Wanda, thank you so much for the super sticker. And again, Wanda, thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate you guys. Let's move on to old Floyd. So I looked up Floyd's actual complaint. It's not available to me yet. It probably won't be available to me till probably like Monday. But this is basically what people are alleging happened. I found the old complaint because this woman has sued him before. She just left out that he slapped her. Floyd Mayweather accused in wage dispute lawsuit of slapping exotic dancer who raised pay issues. A group of exotic dancers are suing retired boxer Floyd Mayweather for failing to pay proper wages, including one dancer who also accused Mayweather of slapping her when she brought up her pay, according to a lawsuit. The class and collective action suit was filed in Nevada by two exotic dancers on behalf of all exotic dancers who have worked at Girl Collection, a Las Vegas strip club owned by Mayweather and his sister. In the lawsuit filed Monday, the dancer said Mayweather and Howard misclassified them as independent contractors rather than employees and did not pay minimum wage for hours worked. The dancers also accused Mayweather and Howard of requiring them to pay fees and portions of their tips to other employees, which the lawsuit alleged was in violation of their fair labor standards. Now, if you're over there working it for tips, I would feel a way. If you guys don't know, exotic dancers have to pay the club a fee just to work there. So on, like, let's say you don't make a lot of money, you still got to pay that fee. So if you're not the best exotic dancer, you may not actually get paid. And a lot of people are like, whatever, everybody is not a featured performer. Everybody is not hitting the main stage, and it's jacked up just like any other job. Imagine having to pay in order to take your clothes off in front of people, or walk around naked for hours and still got to pay the boss, and you don't make any money. Maeweather determines when dancers are allowed to leave for the night, and he often decides how much the dancer's tip will be retained by the club for a given shift. The plaintiff also alleged Maeweather and Howard threatened to intimidate and retaliate against them in response to a previous lawsuit filed last year in federal court. That case was dismissed in August and refiled in the state court with the accusation of assault added. Matthew Thompson, the plaintiff's attorney, said text message change include Maeweather showed he was coordinating with dancers on schedules and standards for club's operation. The messages are included as an exhibit. We believe strongly that Girl Collection was exploiting the entertainers and violating state and federal laws. Maeweather vehemently denies the allegations. Okay, so in the new lawsuit, one of the dancers accused Maeweather of slapping her in the face in front of other dancers when she approached him about pay on April 23rd, 2023. She said that after the strike, Maeweather followed her into the locker room area and told her she could not take a joke. You are paid millions of dollars to slap niggas in the face, and you feel like it's a joke to slap a woman in the face? She said her employment at Girl Collection was terminated for her perceived involvement in the court case and for requesting her wages from previous shifts. Mr. Maeweather never assaulted the plaintiff, and he never owned the club identified in the case. This is nothing more than a legal shakedown. Mr. Maeweather looks forward to the opportunity to prove in court that these allegations are false. So they had in a message, July 16th, July 3rd, 2016, Maeweather said on social media, "I am just months away from opening my very own strip club in Vegas called Girl Collection." So he's saying he never owned a club identified in the case in 2024, but 2016 he said, what does it say? I am just months away from opening the Girl Collection. Now we all know. Okay, so I can't talk about the fact that he can't read because we have money. We have money team people who are straight shooters. So I'm gonna try to keep this professional. I don't think he's the sharpest tool in the shed. That's as nice as I can go. You have allegations of hitting women, now hitting your employees, and people want me to be nice to him, but it's a struggle, and we'll just leave it at that. I don't think he's the smartest. I don't think he's the most cerebral person. The lawsuit seeks back pay and damages, as well as ruling that the dancers are employees rather than independent contractors. But he has a history of violence against women. In 2003, 2 women accused Maeweather of punching them at a nightclub. He was convicted of 2 counts of misdemeanor battery. Maeweather spent 2 months in jail in 2012 for domestic battery following a 2010 argument with ex-girlfriend, who accused him of punching and pulling her hair in front of their children. The case delayed one of Maeweather's most famous boxing showcases, a bout with Manny Pacquiao, that did not happen until 2015. In 2014, a former fiance of Maeweather accused him of physical abuse in the civil lawsuit, and I think that was Miss Jackson. Floyd, not that damn dumb. He rich. There's a lot of rich dumb people. Nobody ever said that he wasn't a good boxer. I guess he can take some hits to the face and the head, but in terms of being the sharpest tool in the shed, I don't see it. Just saying. So I'm not gonna lie. I don't even know. I can't name one Garth Brooks song. If y'all know some Garth Brooks songs that are famous, you can put them in the chat. We have almost 3,000 in the chat. I hope we're at 1,500 likes at least. Let's see. No, we don't even have 1,000 likes. Definitely hit that like button. Let me see. Do y'all know any Garth Brooks songs? I like his wife's music. Friends in Low Places. Is that one of his more famous ones, Shay? I got Friends in Low Places. Okay, so everybody's saying Low Places, The Dance. I don't know any of his songs. Thunder Rolls. And yeah, stop being cheaps with the likes. I don't know Garth. Okay, so I guess you guys know him. I don't really know him that well, but let's talk about what he's being accused of. Garth Brooks accused of the R word in new case. A woman who says she worked as a hair and makeup stylist for Garth Brooks alleged in a lawsuit filed Thursday that he R-worded her in Los Angeles in 2019. The woman does not use her name and goes by Jane Roe in the lawsuit filed in Los Angeles Superior Court. She said the assault occurred when she traveled with Brooks from Nashville to Los Angeles, where he was performing at a Grammy Awards tribute concert in October of 2019. The woman says in the lawsuit that she had worked for Brooks' wife, country singer Trisha Yearwood, since 1999 and had started also working for Brooks in 2017. In a statement provided to CBS, Brooks said that he had filed his own lawsuit anonymously almost a month ago against the plaintiff for extortion and defamation of character. For the last 2 months, I have been hassled to no end with threats, lies, and tragic tales of what my future would be if I did not write a check for many millions of dollars. It has been like having a loaded pow waved in my face. Hush money, no matter how much or how little, is still hush money. In my mind, that means I am admitting to behavior I am incapable of, ugly acts no human should ever do. We filed suit against this person nearly a month ago to speak out against extortion and defamation of character. We filed it anonymously for the sake of families on both sides. I want to play music tonight. I want to continue our good deeds going forward. It breaks my heart that these wonderful things are now in question. I trust the system. I do not fear the truth, and I am not the man they have painted me to be. Now, here's the thing. We have like a history with Diddy. Doesn't mean that he didn't do it, but this is where, hopefully the victim has some type of evidence, because if it ends up being their word against Garth, I feel like she would be hard-pressed to find a jury who will convict him without a history of this. It's something about celebrities, y'all, that they could do the most horrible, vile stuff. But if you like their music or you like their politics or you know, they're super rich or, they've given back to the community, it's real hard. It's real hard to win these cases, especially without like a history. According to the lawsuit filed by the woman Thursday, Brooks normally traveled with an entourage, but the two were alone on his private jet, and he booked just one hotel suite for both of them. The woman alleges that in the suite, he appeared unclothed in the doorway to the bedroom and R-worded her. The suit says that he then proceeded as though nothing had happened and expected her to do his hair and makeup immediately after. She alleges that earlier in 2019, when she was at Brooks' homes, he had appeared naked in front of her, grabbed her hands and put them on his junk. Now, we've been covering this stuff for a while now. And what that sounds like to me is when they were in his home, that was the test. I'm going to appear in front of you without clothes on. I'm going to have you touch me a little bit. Then when they were alone, nobody was there. We're in a hotel suite with 2 bedrooms. I appear naked and I violate you. The first was the test to see if you would say something. That's how it reads to me. Somebody said they do that with rich white college kids as college boys too, not just celebs. That's a good point. Somebody says, is this the same woman who allegedly had a threesome with him and his wife? I don't know, but we'll look into it. The woman's attorney, Douglas Wheeler, acknowledged Brooks' preemptive complaint in his own statement. We applaud our client's courage in moving forward with her complaint against Brooks. The complaint filed today demonstrates that sexual predators exist not only in corporate America, Hollywood, and in the rap and rock and roll industries, but also in the world of country music. We are confident that Brooks will be held accountable for his actions, and his efforts to silence our client through the filing of a preemptive complaint in Mississippi was nothing other than an act of desperation and attempted intimidation. We encourage others who may have been victimized to contact us, as no survivor should suffer in silence. The lawsuit did not state if the woman reported the alleged incident to the authorities. In the lawsuit filed by Brooks, the plaintiff, going by Jane Doe, says the allegations are wholly untrue and that he first learned of them in July when she threatened to publicly sue him unless he gave her millions of dollars. He asked the judge to stop the woman from intentional infliction of emotional distress. We'll see how this one pans out. Sounds like Matt Larr, Charlie Rose. I mean, same book, different name, different skin tone, but it always starts where they test you out at first to see if they can jump you in. I keep telling y'all that verbiage, jump you in. They jump you in, and if you didn't go to the police the first time, then they try to test you again and see how far they can take it. Kelly says, I really don't understand why Gene has seen so much and did nothing. He needs to be on the indictment list with everybody else. Damn. Spiritual Gangster says, someone needs to reopen the reports for Josie's death because Floyd could be next. We need to look into that. Floyd is no better. Now, somebody put that in one of my chats before. So, was Josie his ex-wife or baby mama? Something about his baby mama died under, let's see who Josie and Floyd Mayweather. Josie, Floyd Mayweather death. Floyd Mayweather's ex-girlfriend, Josie Harris, passed away in 2020 due to an accidental overdose. So people are thinking that there's some foul play in it. Harris, with whom the former pro boxer has 3 children, was found unalive in her Southern California home. Wow. I mean, I've just heard like things that you guys have told me. I'm not too sure. I can't really speak on it. So we'll just say allegedly. Spiritual Gangster, Paula, I can talk about whoever in Floyd is what I said. I don't know. Oh, maybe you're talking to somebody in the chat. Maybe talking to somebody named Paula in the chat. Panama, I definitely understand. Robert Kraft, owner of the Patriots, did that to an Asian massage parlor owner. He made her touch his. Somebody said, Bijou says, y'all don't understand that Gene was the entire reason the arrest happened. Gene is the lead witness to the case. Josie was writing a book too. I don't know. I'd have to look into that, y'all. I don't know anything about that. So we'll just put this allegedly banner up. Let me see. Russell Simmons, my favorite munchkin. Russell Simmons owes $3 million to 3 women, including sexual assault accuser, after failing to pay settlement. Now, Russell likes us to believe that he's just in Bali for I was about to say tantric sex. I'm sure he's having that. He wants us to believe that he's in Bali and everything is above board. Do I believe that? No. He also sends the blogs messages as to say that he comes to America all the time. He's not hiding. He's not scared of extradition. But then people say he comes in the dark. He comes in the darkness of night. Now, this little munchkin is in Bali. He has all of these people like Usher, Taraji going over to see him, basically co-signing his existence. We, the people, don't care if Taraji P. Henson co-signs your existence, Russell Simmons. There are so many accusers of this man, and I keep telling you that the Russell L.A. Reid Diddy connection probably needs to be studied. These are the type of people that put Diddy in the positions to do this. These are the type of people that jump you in. It's no surprise that Diddy, Russell, and L.A. Reid all have assault allegations. And these aren't just assault allegations that came out last year. These people have been doing this type of stuff allegedly and have gotten away with it for years. And now think that they can still fool us with this shiny object over here. Well, if Usher says we're all right, Usher is not the picture of morality. Usher isn't Usher co-signing you, and $2 would mean that you have $2. Nobody cares. But okay, let's get into this, because he's saying that he's not fearing extradition and all this kind of stuff, but you are not in America, and you are supposed to be paying these $3 million, and you're not. You're still suing Kimora because her man tricked you out of that money while he was trying to get bail money and all that, while he was scamming people allegedly. But you got your own shit to pay. Why don't you come to America for this? Russell Simmons owes 3 women $3 million after failing to pay them previously agreed upon settlements. The 3 confessions of judgment were filed Wednesday in New York County Supreme Court on behalf of journalists Seal Lai Abrams, Sherry Abernathy, and Wendy Carolina. The documents were part of a confidential settlement agreement that women entered into with the music mogul in November of 2023. Confidential settlement agreement. Meaning they weren't just awarded this because he didn't show up to court. You agreed to pay and you're not paying. Over there gapping your legs open with Taraji P. Henson and all those little kids and there's a bunch of little kids and photos at his yogi camp or whatever the hell he calls it. I don't like any of it. I don't like anybody who's accused of these type of things being around other people's children. Simmons agreed to pay each woman substantial sums for claimants' alleged personal physical injuries and sickness by October 1st, but according to the document, he has failed to pay. He provided the confessions of judgment to the plaintiffs last year as part of the settlement. In the event of default, they gave the plaintiffs an expedited means to obtain judgments in New York State court and to begin collections processes. Simmons pledged to pay $1.265 each to Abrams and Abernathy and $515,000 to Franco under the settlements. Simmons did not admit any wrongdoing. You sure settled a lot to say that you're not admitting any wrongdoing. Saber says, what sticks in my craw. I love when people use the term craw. What sticks in my craw, they were supposed to be a barrier from the industry scamming black people. They were supposed to help black artists create generational wealth and legacy. They all turned to predators. Not just artists. Remember, he had the Rush card that was allegedly scamming people, skimming money off the top. That was one of the first big things that I saw about Russell Simmons. The Rush card was supposed to be for low-income people, for them to have a bank card. And it just turned out to be a big-ass scam. Karen, what's your IG? It's Make It Make Sense Now. And definitely follow me on Instagram, Make It Make Sense Now. I'm still like 200 people away from hitting 25K. Apparently, to be a YouTuber, you need to have an Instagram that pops. I remember the Rush card. Celebrity Scandalous said, wait, that's weird. Floyd assistants just died last year too. I did hear about the assistant. A lot of people were really close to that particular lady, but I never heard that there might have been anything foul. No foul play on that one. Let me see. Back to the Munchkin. Legal representatives, both the women and Simmons, did not respond to Variety's request. So I'll be looking that up for you guys. The documents do not explicitly state why the original settlements were made, but Abrams, an author of domestic violence and domestic violence activist, has previously made allegations that Simmons awarded her in 1994. In 2020, she participated in the documentary On the Record, which focused on Black women's experiences in hip-hop. So he's not admitting any wrongdoing, but he agreed to pay this woman. Over nearly a decade, more than 20 women have accused Simmons of assault. As recently as this past February, when a Jane Doe who once worked for Def Jam said that he R-worded her in the late 90s. 2 days after the assault, another former Def Jam executive named Drew Dixon sued him for defamation after she claimed he sexually assaulted her, and he subsequently branded her a liar. In a podcast interview last year, Simmons acknowledged being in compromising situations, but he said that he had taken and passed 9 lie detector tests dealing with allegations of violent conduct. Airstyle said, "What happened to Relentless Aaron from your live?" Who's Relentless Aaron? I don't know who that is. Couldn't tell you how people are dying from pneumonia. Couldn't tell you. Okay, so there was something else that I wanted to get into. Oh, this. Okay, so Audra English. I told you guys I would pull this up. So yesterday we watched an attorney who initially had said that there was a tape going around that she was going to potentially help catch and kill of somebody larger than Diddy who was involved in something. And it got kind of convoluted because she said she couldn't tell if the person in the video was between 17 to 21, but she was still going to help them catch and kill it. She no longer wants to be Audra English. I'll show you guys Audra. Audra was the woman who interviewed with Tasha K. She also used to be a dancer for Diddy. Let me pull this up. This is Audra English. In the background, I can tell you that this is not the first attorney who has had some issues with Audra. I reviewed Audra's interview with Tasha K. It is my belief that Audra was under the influence, we'll just say alcohol. She slurred her words a lot. And she even said that her attorney was not pleased that she would do the Tasha K interview. I don't understand how you are putting your faith in an attorney, but you're so excited to go on Tasha K that you would, against your attorney's judgment, do an interview with Tasha K. Do I believe the things this woman said? Absolutely. But for any of the victims with Diddy, it's so important that they dot their I's and cross their T's. There have been some things that I've heard in the background as to why certain attorneys do not want to work with her. This particular attorney who has taken cases against Trey Songz and Chris Brown, we saw her talking to Pierce Brosnan. She seems very capable. She said, "Hell no, get me the hell out of this case." It says, attorney respectfully moves the court to withdraw them as counsel for plaintiff at this early phase of the case, based on numerous satisfactory reasons for withdrawal. First, the plaintiff has provided conflicting instructions that make it unreasonably difficult for attorneys to effectively represent the plaintiff. Second, there has been a breakdown in the attorney-client relationship between attorneys and the plaintiff. Third, there are irreconcilable differences. Now, damn, I thought that was just for marriages. The guy that said Diddy tried to take him out. If you're talking about the man who came on at the end of one of my lives, I told him to stay up, but as soon as the live ended, he dropped down, and I haven't heard from him since. I was willing to talk to him, but as soon as the live ended, I guess there was some confusion. What's up, Diva? Diva is Erica De Niro's nickname. Oh, she was the one who was dating the model and Diddy propositioned him. Yes, she alleges that Diddy propositioned him. He wanted to suck the D. Instead, what he got was her. Well, the man continued to work for Diddy, and she became a backup dancer. No, she worked at his white parties, and Diddy was basically not really paying her a lot of money to have sexual relationships with people like Jacob the Jeweler. That's what we're talking about. Do I believe her story? Yes. I just think that she's a little bit more sloppy with the things that she says behind the scenes and what she has said in interviews, and it hurts her credibility. Do I believe this woman? Yes. Her interview really got me thinking, guys. When she talked about how Diddy would usher her into rooms with the men that he wanted her to sleep with, it really for the first time had me thinking, well, if he is recording this and you are a powerful, prominent person and he's getting you the women that you want, the quality of women that you want, the quality of men that you want, quietly, not paying them, but probably making the men and women pay him, whether it be Jacob the jeweler with jewels, watches, whatever, or having leverage over these people. This woman's story had the ability to be so impactful, but on the back end, there's certain things you can't do. You can't ever ask, not saying this is her particularly. I'm just giving you guys some stuff. You can't ask anybody well, if you testify, I got you. You can't go on platforms and give out information that's supposed to be your trump card in the case. You can't go and get drunk and sloppily tell people who are going to expose you things. There's a lot of people who have been victimized, but there are some people who want attention more than they want to win the case or more than they want justice. She's going to have an uphill battle. And I absolutely believe that Diddy took advantage of her. And if the story is true, I was about to curse, her effing boyfriend took advantage of her too, because he knew that this man allegedly was trying to have sex with him. And instead, you basically gave your girlfriend to him. Now, I don't care if Audra was an adult performer. I don't care if Audra was a stripper. If you don't want to suck his D, then why the hell are you allowing him, Diddy, to pimp out your girlfriend? You're just as bad. You are just as bad, if not worse than Diddy, because you're the one who had the relationship. Why is her body up for sexual grabs, but yours isn't? Just a thought. Just a thought. It bears emphasis that attorneys' withdrawal as plaintiff's counsel will cause no prejudice. This case is in its infancy. Defendants have not even served plaintiff's complaint. The court recently ordered that the plaintiff file its joint letter and proposed case management. So basically, she's saying, "Get that. I'm done. I don't want to be her an attorney. She's sloppy." We'll see. I really do hope that this woman gets justice. When I went over her complaint, she had once her family found out that she did adult movies and stuff like that, they wanted to disown her. Her boyfriend was giving her up to the likes of Diddy. It's a lot going on. I want to do this. I'm dropping the link. We don't have a bunch of time. If you filibuster, I'm just going to have to stop you. But if you want to process this, I'm allowing that to happen. We've been talking about a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff has been dark. I dropped the link. Anybody can click it. Diva, if you want to click it, you're more than welcome to do so. But we can kind of process together for at least maybe about 15 minutes. Then I got to go because we're not filibustering. We're not, and I usually let people go, but can't do it. Mims, females that can't fight are easily led. The woman has had a tough life. Let me see. Instead of thinking when I say sloppy, I mean, if your attorney's telling you do not go on Tasha K, do not go. And you feel compelled because you love Tasha K to go and do that and it hurts your case, that's what I mean. I definitely think the woman was a victim. What's up, Callie?
Hey, what's up?
Which topic do you want to discuss?
Let's see. It seems like it's all like SA stories, right? We didn't have anything else. We had Garth. Well, Floyd did slap someone, but it was still a woman. and then we got the Diddy stuff.
Right.
That's it, right?
It was Floyd. It was Russell Simmons running from the money. It was a little Diddy stuff. It was Garth Brooks, and it was Gene Deal.
Oh, okay. Well, the thing is with Gene, I actually clocked this earlier. He said someone told him that. Now, you saying somebody told you something don't mean you believe the person. It don't mean that you didn't know for a fact it didn't happen. You just saying somebody told you that. So I think that he was being perfectly obtuse, and now the FBI is asking questions, and he's a little bit scared and trying to backpedal on some of these things he was obtuse about.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my opinion. Now,
well, I pointed out the difference. Today he said specifically he was heard. Before in interviews, he said he knew. So that's the difference. I still, Gene doesn't bother me the way he bothers a lot of people.
Well, I mean, his information, he stopped working for Diddy many years ago. So yes, I'm sure some of his information is correct, and some of it is kind of like, you know what I mean? Do you really remember every single detail that happened this many years ago? It might be him just mistaken, or maybe he got a little high on the attention. But I also think that now the feds are involved, and so now he's getting a little bit nervous and trying to make sure he's not making up stuff or exaggerating things where he could possibly get in trouble. Because again, we're talking about something that happened to a minor that you were supposed to have reported. If someone told me this right now, I'm reporting this. And that's why I came up, because I just wanted to say, if anybody is in this type of situation, please report this person. I understand that people don't want to lose their jobs, but more than likely, they're probably going to end up letting you go anyway, because most jobs end up laying people off anyway. That's just how jobs go. And also, if you're afraid of this person, I'm going to just keep it a buck. There is a Second Amendment, and you got to do what you got to do. So if this person is coming to your home, trying to assault you in your home, I suggest you look and see what the laws are in your state to defend yourself. Because I don't like this idea that it's this many. I understand one or two people, but this many people are this afraid of these people. These people ain't got that kind of power. They just don't.
If Diddy can blow up a car, he got some power.
I would just say that if you are in this situation, because somebody out here right now might be being harassed at work. We don't know. Please report this person and do whatever you need to do to legally defend yourself. It is not worth allowing someone to do this to you. You will be messed up for the rest of your life behind a job where you're going to get laid off anyway.
Right. I got you. Well, thank you so much, Callie. I appreciate you as always, friend.
All right. Have a good one.
Destiny, you're up.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make a comment about the last woman in trying to conceptualize her behavior in the context of trauma, thinking about like her substance use, her attention-seeking behavior, and as a result of the impacts of her trauma with Diddy, and just having like compassion for her. That's all I wanted to bring up.
You think I don't?
No, I thought no, I was just no, you some of the way in which you talked about it like can come off that way because you were saying like like you believe her, but she came off like she seems like a bit attention getting and like kind of
no,
slurring
those
her
are
speech.
that's what I want to get away from. That is the fact. We have now multiple attorneys who have dropped her. I think that I can comfortably say I believe that she's a victim. Now, just being a victim and choosing to go on Tasha K against your attorney's wishes, I don't know that necessarily has anything to do with her victimhood. Right?
What I'm saying is that I think that it does. Like maybe like as a result of trauma, sometimes it impacts people's personality to in which they do adapt this like attention seeking, promiscuous type behavior, like that is a part of can be a part of the sequela of trauma.
I
And
agree, but I think that we come to a space where everything is now all encompassing. I can talk about an attorney who has declined to work with her because of this. That is, I think that it's separate from the fact that I believe that she's owed everything because she's a victim.
right.
Do you get what I'm saying? I definitely feel like she was victimized in multiple ways. Do I think it was the best idea to go on Tasha K and even tell us, well, my attorney doesn't want me here, but I love you so much and I'm a fan, that's why I'm here? Like, I think I'm comfortable saying that.
Okay. Yes, just wanted to think of it as, and maybe you were doing this, but just
Mhm.
explicitly talk about like seeing her as a person who's making unwise choices as a result of active suffering. And because of the trauma, her resultant unwise choices are getting in her way currently. Not that she's just like an attention seeking,
No, I don't
person.
think that she's
Right.
just an attention-seeking person, but in reality, you've now been dropped by multiple attorneys because you refuse not to go and talk. So
Right.
she may not even get her day in court if she can't find another attorney who will pick her up. I
Right.
would
But I
never.
think,
Mhm.
sorry. I think she's someone who actively needs help and
Right.
therapy. And until she gets that, I don't think she's going to be able to engage probably effectively, like with a legal counsel, kind of like Cassie, who talked about like the therapy that she had to get and go to rehab
Mhm.
prior to being able to get to the space where she could like release, like work with the attorney and get her case out there. I think this woman should probably go through the same process prior to being able to
But
seek justice.
do we know that she hasn't gone to counseling?
Or, I mean,
We don't
effective
know.
counseling. Right. But it hasn't
Okay.
worked. Right.
Effective counseling.
Right. And she's still, kind of, she's still struggling. That's the only thing that I wanted to put out there. But I do
Tasha K doesn't
appreciate.
pay. Somebody said, "Do I think would I turn down 10,000 for a Tasha K interview?" Tasha K doesn't pay for interviews. And I think what she does pay is like a stipend of maybe like $500 or $1,000 in airfare to her. But no, I definitely get what you're saying. I think that whenever we're discussing survivors, victims, you want to be compassionate yet insightful. It's like a tightrope to walk. But on the back end, I know some things about her case, and
Mhm.
you know, I hope and pray that she gets the relief and compensation that I believe that she deserves, because I do believe that this woman was definitely a victim of Diddy and her surroundings and her parents who disowned her, and she's had a hard life.
Yes. Well, I appreciate you and I really enjoy your show. Thank you.
And just to say this before you go, I what's your name? Destiny? Destiny
Yes.
is extremely respectful. This is what processing is about. I don't have a platform where you can't come and talk to me and speak to me and keep me above water. And I appreciate it. I definitely do. That's what processing, in my opinion, means.
Yes.
So, the word sloppy, I wasn't calling him or her sloppy drunk. I was really relating it specifically to the things that she's done in the background with her cases.
Right. And I wasn't trying to like call you out or anything. I just wanted to try to, just help give context. I think you
No,
did
I
great.
appreciate it. I
Okay.
appreciate it. I don't want like, if you're disrespectful, then we got a problem. But I want us to come up and be able to have conversations and discussions, because a lot of times there's no right or wrong answers. And you might have a viewpoint that somebody else didn't think about, and your viewpoint could impact or change somebody's life on the spot, and you don't even know it. So again, I appreciate you, Destiny.
Yes, thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Saber, what's up?
People fail to realize that the United States has a R-word culture. In other words, if you look at his story, the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, women couldn't vote. They had to stay in marriages that were oftentimes extremely abusive. And if they mentally broke down, the remedy was to actually take them into these asylums, have them lobotomized or thrown into icy water, or have so many primitive things done to them that it is even more cruel and hurtful. Women didn't have the right to divorce. They couldn't get a credit card. They couldn't buy a house. And most of the rights that women enjoy right now, I'm 63. I don't know of any other life. My parents grew up and my father was a World War II veteran. Other than what women have now, we have no idea what women went through before they had the right to come forward. Mm-hmm. And what I was trying to say was, I thought Nola from Cali was kind of cute. I worked with cops for almost 30 years.
Uh-huh.
And when you say, oh, well, someone should run and report something, it's a male-dominated, structured mini society within a society. Some cop cultures have been described as gangs. If something happens to you, you can't just go and report it. And that is to say that this United States, the way things are made up and the way institutional structures are, they were made to support men, not women. So if you
let's not forget that back in the day, your husband could legally take advantage of you. There was no saying no because it was
absolutely.
You can report it.
Absolutely. There's nothing you could do. And the thing of it is, what I'm saying is, I just have a real thing about all these 6'3" and above, 300-pound gun carrying former police officers working with Diddy that write these tell-all books, but they never saw anything. So you can't have it both ways. Either you saw something and you did nothing, just admit it and be real about it. But you can't write a book about stuff you didn't see. That makes no sense to me. There is one bodyguard that was recently accused in a lawsuit, and he got on national television saying, oh no, it wasn't me. And he threw out Jay Prince's voice, and Jay Prince has a reputation, or Jay Prince, who was supposed to be paying this lawyer for all these hundreds of cases in Texas. And I wanted to know what you felt about that. The last thing I wanted to say
hold on really quick, because I'm going to answer this. I'm working on a video on that guy. Before he took down his Instagram and stuff, I got a lot, and there's some stuff on the back end that I'm gonna let you guys know. That was supposed to be part of my video today, but so much other stuff popped off. We're gonna get into that this weekend. I have my own ideas about him. For him, like, you know, he really does produce adult movies. And he's actually partnered with Cameron in it. Like, it goes deep. We're going to get into that. But what was your next thing?
The last thing I want to say is that I'm just, at my big age, I'm so disappointed that we created a genre. We've created several genres from nothing. We were at the inception of country music. We were at the inception of rock and roll, and we were at the inception of hip hop. All three of those genres in an industry that is so evil and satanic that people have been sacrificed for it, including children, that you have a few brothers that claim they wanted to join this industry to change it, and they wound up being worse than anybody else ever could imagine. When you become part of the problem, it's something systemic. Also, the fact that a lot of these YouTube videos are blaming the women that were involved with Sean Combs. His mother was a victim. A lot of people aren't old enough to remember she was slapped in the face by him on video. I saw it. And I'm not imagining that. He slapped the taste out of his mother's mouth. And I mean, anyone that would work with someone like that after he did that on video, oh well. But what I'm trying to say is when you have women, a lot of whom did not take self-defense classes or were not raised to call out for help, because in the culture of the United States, that are R-word culture, you get what you get. You try to make it to the top with these guys that say they're for the people, but sometimes your skin folk ain't your kinfolk, and vice versa. It's just disappointing that people blame the women who were getting the crap beaten out of them on a daily basis, getting bones broken, being drugged, being R-worded, being hospitalized. You blame them for not telling on this guy, but you had all these 300-pound men walking around protecting him that never saw nothing but wrote a book. Just saying. No. Good night, everybody. All right, and prostitutes don't deserve to be beaten, even if they're sex workers. They're still workers. If that's the only way they could get around to doing what they needed to do to feed their family, it's the oldest profession in the book, and so is child trafficking. Anyway, thank you. Good night.
All right, Sabra. I appreciate you as always. Lady, you're up.
So I'm gonna make this really quick. Thank you for having me on your show. I've just started watching a lot of your videos as of late. I want to give you kudos first of all for you don't just take what is being said. You actually do your research and you pull documents to show proof to back up what you're saying. So I thank you for that. As it relates to Gene Deal, I agree with what you're saying. So a lot of things he was saying in the beginning, with his whole chest, right? Now things are kind of hot. And when I saw the first part of the video yesterday, he was being really facetious with what 120? No, that ain't possible. What? They have a 1-800 number? No. I want you to, where in the history has that been done? That is impossible. But you're leaving out the fact that there was over 3,000 people who actually called. They vetted 120, and we're talking over a span of 30 years. So it very much is possible that a lot of it is true, right?
I believe the shit. I'm a person who what's 99 people who come forward for abuse telling the truth. It's like a small percentage of people aren't.
Correct. And like the young lady said before, a lot of people, if you've never been in a abusive relationship, it's easy for you to Monday night quarterback and say what you would and would not do. You spoke yesterday on, I think it was yesterday, Corinne Steffens, and how the things that she said in her book and then the statements that she's making now. Corinne, you still could not consent because you were under the influence of drugs and alcohol. And in a sense, you were being pimped out. So you can look at it as if, I wanted to do this, but did you really? And
I don't think she knew. Lady, sorry, there's an echo. I think you have me playing in the background. So if you could just turn me off in the background.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
It's let's see. It's not as bad. No, I'm definitely still playing in the background.
Okay, I'm gonna just make this real quick and I'm gonna get off. If you have not watched the movie Blink Twice, I suggest you watch it. It tells a lot.
You're like the 10th person to tell me I need to watch that movie. So I might have to watch it tonight.
Yes, I saw it yesterday. And for those who don't understand, it tells you a whole lot about what's going on right now.
Let me just mute you really quick. In terms of Corinne Steffens, when I look at how she wrote that book all those years ago, I always say, when you know better, you do better. I think that Corinne back in those days thought that she was in charge. I think Corinne thought that she was playing all these people, but I think, in foresight, she didn't really have a plan. This woman is a woman of a certain age now who has been through a lot of shit, and she can now see the forest for the trees. They made her feel like she was in charge. They made her feel like, okay, you're being a sexual being. But even in the Irv Gotti and Diddy situation, they gave her copious amounts of ecstasy. Ecstasy is one of those drugs that it's like ecstasy was designed for cancer patients. So it releases endorphins to make you feel happy. It makes you feel sexual. But in actuality, she goes into having seizures right after that as a result of the amounts of ecstasy that she was taking. She definitely believed she was in control, but these people had a network, and she was a pawn in the network. Sorry.
I agree. You're actually correct. And for the young lady who said that, who said that these people do not have that much power, they absolutely do have that much power when they are all the way at the top and as big as Diddy. He had police in his pocket. The lady who was powed in the face said she had to move several times because of the things that was being done to her.
And so they paid off.
Correct. But I'm gonna get down because I don't want to keep echoing and having a bad juju for your show. Thank you.
I got somebody who hit me up who I guess is watching the show, who I definitely respect. In terms of Destiny, I agree with both of you. I'm not gonna put specifically what they said, but I agree with Destiny too. Again, this is a lot, and you have to, again, be compassionate for victims. But when we're talking attorneys, you can comfortably say that somebody hurt their case. Now, the reasons behind why they might have hurt their case might definitely be a result of their trauma. I absolutely agree. Dr. Danny B says, I feel like when he heard the prosecutor state, we are coming for anyone who was a witness and didn't do anything, that he got spooked. I also don't think he ever thought it would get this far when he began doing interviews. Or we're talking about Gene. I think Gene has the right idea now of exposing Diddy. I think that Gene has decided to do that now for many years. If you've been following Gene, he has been doing this for a while. I just take it as Gene probably has counsel now, and he's going to have to be very direct and very accurate with the things that he says moving forward, because now the spotlight is on him in a way that it has never been before. Even on his own page, he gets thousands of people watching him, but these interviews with the Art of the Dialogue, it's millions. So it's very important that he be as specific as possible. Dr. Danny B, thanks again. Per the prosecutor, some of these cases were reported previous to now, but nothing was done. Diddy had those in authority on his payroll as well. You think, we talk about the celebrities, you think that the judges, the attorneys, the politicians were not at his party? No, those people are probably hiding right now, scared as hell that their name is going to be dropped. Did we talk about the Epstein list? The Diddy list is going to be just as impactful and probably filled with the same people, allegedly. What's up, Chanel's Reality?
Hey, Mims.
Hey.
Okay, so I don't know. I don't want to repeat anything anyone says, but I have two things I really want to kind of like touch on. The first thing
don't worry
is
about that. For anybody who, well, Chanel, she's a pro, but anybody, don't worry about that. That's what processing is. We're taking the time to work through these things together. So
okay, well, I appreciate that. So my first thing is, the judge has been changed in his case.
Yes.
So I find it interesting, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist. However, clearly with this man, something has been afoot for a long time, right? So if the bill has not been set, because what I read said that the judge would accommodate, he would stay on or she would stay on as long as, the trial date. Hold on, what did it say? It said something about to another judge if they were unable to accommodate the trial date. But he hasn't had a trial date set, correct? Or am I crazy?
No.
So then why is the judge being changed? And I know people are probably going to say, okay, well, judges change all the time, but federal judges that have denied bail twice, it just seems odd to me. And
there's nothing that I read that said that either the prosecutors or the defense asked for the judge to be changed. So we're kind of in the dark as of right now.
Right. So I just find that odd. And I'm not saying that, like I said, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I do think that with so much, I've watched, you, like the other people said, for so many years, well, at least for a year, I've been watching you, I would say, read those cases, line for line. And I've read some of them line for line. And some of the stuff with all the bodies that just keep piling up that don't add up, that's the reason that I'm saying right now. And in an ordinary situation, I probably would say, oh, that's normal. Judges change all the time. But after you get, 2 denials, I just find that interesting. And I will find it a conspiracy theory if on this third try by his attorneys, he suddenly gets bail. I will find that funny and strange.
The judge changed and he added additional people to his team.
Really? Oh, yeah, exactly. That's my point. Exactly. And then I also want to clear up for some people, because I don't know if you, like I said, I don't know if you mentioned this or not, but people keep saying things like, oh, well, he offered $50 million, so that he could post bail or post bond or whatever it's called. And I'm like, people have to understand that it's not like he's saying, here, I'm going to give $50 million. It's 10%. So he would only have given like $5 million. You know what I'm saying?
No,
so
not in this situation. He actually took $18 million and paid off his home, and he put up the home. So it is a $50 million house. It's not like he's just giving the money. He's putting that up and saying, I won't leave the country. And here's my passport and all my children's passports. So it was 50 million. It's not even just him giving $5 million. He literally paid off his home with $18 million and said, this is the collateral.
Well, again, if these people that I've heard say, oh, this man's supposedly a billionaire, 50 million is nothing.
He's not a billionaire. He's valued.
I agree with you. I'm poking fun at that is what I'm saying.
Okay. I was like, he's valued. He's not worth $1 billion.
Right. It's not liquid
that
cash.
Value has gone down because he leverages his name for money. Now that
I think his attorneys are not going to do anything but just, continue to take out as much money as they possibly can. But the other thing I wanted to say that bothers me is that I've heard so many people go on. Well, one, I've never in the history of my 44 years on this planet ever in life seen all of the entertainment industry just suddenly be on mute. Nobody has anything to say. When I'm saying entire, I'm talking about film, TV, the music industry, like everybody is on mute. And I know people are going to say, oh, well, it's because he allegedly has everybody on tape, which clearly, but no one has anything to say either way. Like you don't even have to, like, you don't have one word to say either way to say, okay, well, don't put me in that. Like, you know what I'm saying? And even if you watch Piers Morgan, I can't remember his name the other day, when he was talking about when Jaguar Wright was on there. And again, she's who she is. I could believe some of it. I don't believe all of it, but I'm not her. And I don't know these people. I wasn't there. So it's all alleged. But I find it interesting that lady can sit on TV. And to my understanding, she still hasn't called one lawsuit. And all of these people have a whole bunch of money. And at the end of the day, I don't understand why one person has at least said, what do they call it when they send you a cease and desist, like shut the hell up talking about anything? I find that strange. Last thing I wanted to say is about, it bothers me that we continue to say or try to make it about black men or black man or black culture or hip hop. This to me has absolutely nothing to do about black men or black culture or hip hop. We are not black culture, and black people are not Diddy. This man is one person who is doing a lot. Now, granted, obviously he has handlers and other people, but I'm saying it bothers me when we try to fit it all together as if this is a Black people problem or a Black hip hop problem or like it's no, all of it's a problem, but that doesn't have anything to do with Black people. This has everything to do with someone who clearly had a lot of money, a lot of power, a lot of influence, and all the other things that you can add on the list to be able to have this be like an open secret for 30 years. But that's it. That's all.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I definitely appreciate you coming up.
You're welcome. Bye, Mims.
Gia Pet, you're up.
Hey, hon.
Hey, how's it going?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Awesome. So I'm not claiming to know anything at all about this case. I had my own case. It was a case of Jane Doe fives. So there were 5 of us, and we took down the Weinstein of the adult industry.
Oh, wow.
So this just happened, and I'm kind of irritated because I wish that our case had the time for this one to start, if you know what I mean. Because I think our judge would have taken everything that happened to us way more seriously.
You felt like your case was overlooked.
Yeah, I mean, a bit. Like, I feel like, so there were 3 of them. One is in prison now. The other one got out of prison or out of jail, I don't know, like 2 weeks later. And then the other one, she was out of jail like in 48 hours.
So did you have like a class action against like the company that you worked for?
Oh, not at all. So in the industry, there are people that try to control you, and it's not spoken about. But long story short, I had a porn agent, and then
just don't say the P word.
So sorry.
YouTube will get us. But no, you had an agent.
And then I also had, I guess, like people that allowed me to see other people on the side, I guess.
Like they booked you for clients that weren't related to the film you were supposed to be doing?
Correct. Okay. And so a lot of these people were very famous people, very wealthy people, politicians, celebrities, specifically comedians, all kinds of people that you, pastors, people part of all the churches that you see on TV. I feel like this is going to be really big for Diddy, because I was told by someone, so someone's son that is very famous. He was like, never go to a Diddy party. So like I would book parties as appearances, and I wouldn't get paid to do anything. I would just be paid to party. So you just go there, you drink, and you look cute. Never go to Diddy party. Never go to a Trey Songz event. Never go to Jamie Foxx. Never go to T.I. and Tiny. And I'm not Drake's type, but never go to a Drake event.
I think if you follow, I think they led you in the right direction.
I think so too. So, yeah.
But in terms of your case, you said that you felt like your case would have been taken more seriously if it had come after Diddy's. Did you feel like justice was not served in your situation?
Oh, absolutely not. I feel like we suffered. We were ostracized from the entire industry. No one talks to us at all. Everybody thinks that we were after money. And I don't know if people know how expensive it is to bring a case against someone, but we spent $500,000 on our lawyer.
And now you can't work anymore.
And I can't work at all anymore. And so everybody is like attacking, like, not so much anymore, but when, I don't know why I want to call her Cassidy.
Cassie?
Cassie. When she started her case, it had to be a civil case because obviously she's not the police. She can't do a criminal case. And everybody attacked her because it was like, oh, she's only after money, and it's kind of like, duh, she's not the police. And in our case, the FBI told us to file our case first so that they can gather any information that our case had to use part of their case.
Oh, I'm glad that you're saying that. I do agree that Cassie gets targeted unfairly. But to hear you say that the police basically said, start yours first and we'll come after.
Yes.
That is I'm glad you said that. Because it's unfair to you. It's unfair. They want you to be these forward-facing figures, and they're in the background, not realizing that you may not work again.
Yeah, it ruins your whole life. And, everybody sees women that come forward as the enemy in some weird way, even though they know what happened to you.
Are you able to appeal?
So we got what we wanted, essentially. So it's not like we want to appeal.
Mm-hmm. But you wanted justice, but you also still wanted to be able to work.
Yes, but I also want other women to come forward.
I think even you speaking out helps people more than you know.
I wish I could believe that, but
You don't?
No, it's hard.
It takes a lot of strength to come out, whether it's you, whether it's Cassie, whether it's whomever, whether you're telling your story to just one person who might be struggling and you don't even know. You do not understand how much this helps the next person. I always say everybody always wants to think about like a crowd, when in actuality, if you help one person that you did not know, you have done your job as a human being.
Yeah. I just don't want anybody else to go through what I went through. So at the end of the day, if it did help even one person, then that's worth it. But at the same time, it's like, I'm agoraphobic now. I have CPTSD. I have anxiety and depression, and no one talks about like what happens to the women that come forward.
I can agree with that. I think there's so much hype and so much media attention. I hate to just keep using Cassie as an example, but people don't understand what it means to win your case, but you're still like, she will battle addiction for the rest of her life. She is a recovering addict, but the thing is, this impacted her, and it's something she has to deal with on a daily. So I absolutely agree with you. People don't think about what happens after the court case is done. We can go into even a young lady named Shanquilla, whose life was taken at the hands of her friends. The stuff is still going on. There's still no justice, but because there's no fanfare around it, it's like it doesn't exist.
Yeah, and I think like the silence is what hurts the most, because everybody knew what happened to you, and it's just like what's happening with the whole Diddy case. Everyone's quiet. There's not a peep anywhere, and it's just kind of like, I know you saw. I saw you see, and it's just kind of, it's really hard, and it breaks you down to the point where, people tell you like, you could just move forward and just like get a new job, and you're very successful, and you're really smart, you can do this. And it's just like, yeah, but I've been torn apart as a person. My spirit is broke.
Like, I don't have anything to say to that, because just hearing your story I'm having a reaction to it that I am so sorry.
It's not your fault.
It's not my fault, but we're at a space where I'm my brother's keeper. So when I hear that, I'm really sorry. If there's anything I can do, you can actually DM me, make it make sense now. In your situation, did you have something that like gags you from speaking?
No, I can talk about everything.
Maybe I think that there is enough fanfare now. Maybe your story needs to be a book. Maybe your story needs to come out.
Yeah.
I don't know the specifics on your case, but just on face value, if you were an actress and your management was actually sending you out to have sex with other people, that sounds like trafficking to me.
Oh yeah, they got it's pimping and pandering and money laundering, and there's another one they got charged for, perjury.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's not your fault, and I've mostly forgiven myself for all of the crazy things that happened. So
I don't think you have to forgive yourself. I don't think that you did anything. If you were being trafficked, you were the victim. Like, they victimized you, and they deserve everything that they get. And it literally, if there's anything I can do to help you, I will.
thank you. It's hard to like accept that, because I just feel blame. I feel like everything, like with the career that I had, it's just like people's response is always, you knew what you were getting into, and that's just what happens.
I hate that shit. Let me tell you, I am very close to two people who were former prostitutes. I've talked about it multiple times, and the fact that they have like found their real place in life, like jobs outside of that particular occupation, I am more proud of them for what they went through. Like, when you hear the stories of the people who were actually, like, people just see stuff on the surface. You never really know what that person went through. You never really know how that person got there. We're just now in a space where people are really understanding what it means to be trafficked. I am more proud of them than my friend who signed a $200 million contract. Literally, I'm more proud of them because, a corporate person who makes a lot of money, great, proud of you. You're Black, proud of you. But somebody who went through extreme hardship, had to do things that they never expected that they would do, and got out of it, I'm extremely proud of those two girls.
Yeah. I tell the other Jane Does, there's four of us, and we call ourselves the GI Janes, because we only had to be strong, and we only had each other, and we weren't friends. Like, we are people from like opposite sides of the world. Like, we are not friends. And we only had each other. So at the end of the day, I will always think that these are the bravest women I've ever met in my entire life.
All of y'all. And to have the understanding that you all were victimized, and you're forever going to be bonded. I really want to help. Literally, if there's something you think that I can assist you with, I definitely will.
Okay, I'll message you afterwards.
There's so many. I feel like your story deserves to be told, and I feel like maybe this is the time.
Yeah, I mean, we're all ready to speak. All of us Janes, we're kind of irritated and tired of like being ignored. Like, the industry is trying to like hush us up.
I mean, it's a reckoning. Tell your story, nail them to the cross, and I'm sorry. We'll talk offline, because this took me out. I'm not even gonna lie. These topics can be so dark, but then you talk to survivors who tell you that what you're doing is you're going in the right direction and to keep it up. But at the end of the day, this shit is dark.
Yeah.
And I need to probably do more processing type sessions so that we can all have a voice to talk. I don't know if you recognize that you probably helped somebody.
I hope so.
You probably helped somebody even just tonight.
I hope so.
But okay, I'm gonna go ahead and end this. Reach out to me. I have like different connections and stuff, and who knows where this, could lead.
All right, I will do.
All right, I'm sorry, Gia.
It's okay. It's not your fault.
Okay. All right. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Guys, we're gonna go ahead and end it there. The processing session that we had tonight, I think it's necessary. I think the dialogue is necessary. Hold on. Let me see. Oh, we got some super chats. Celebrity scandal. I was a litigation secretary. Everything you say can and will be used against you. Now, I've never heard Gene say that he was going to be called to testify, but you never know who the feds are talking to. Thanks again, Celebrity Scandalous. Attorneys and judges are a fraternity. They fight in court and play golf together. It's a business. They call favors. I do think that Diddy's scope is very wide, so I would not be surprised if the prosecutors are going to have to make sure to find a judge that he does not have any kind of connection to. Jessica Taylor, Mims, I love the tea. Keep it coming. Thanks. Jessica is our resident Australian straight shooter. Mims, how can I get info to you? I try, but I can't. I'm not gonna lie. My stuff, my emails and my DMs have been inundated. Like I have so many different emails and stuff that I still need to return. Make it make sense now is still probably the fastest way to reach me. Make it make sense now, I should say. Ray, if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. I agree. Bring joy. Mims, recommend her to seek a therapist. I hope that she's in therapy. I'll definitely talk to her about that. Belly B, this is so triggering. Happens so much in the military. Not only will they drag your name through the mud and ruin your career defending the perpetrators, but they retire them with full benefits. Now, I was not in the military, but I did work with the military, and I was in Iraq for a while. And I want to say he was a major while I was there, went down for taking advantage of a woman. And it was like a big to-do. But people were saying really horrible things about the lady. So thank you guys for being here. This stuff is deep. And we'll do more processing sessions for sure. But thank you guys. See you later. This was a lot for me as well.